Doodlebud. Now, while I was in the Muji store the other day, restocking, getting a new book and paper, just finished doing the video on there. The proof is on the ink on my finger still. I happened across something else. This little pen right here. So there is the Muji fountain pen. You've probably seen it before. Very popular. It's an aluminum fountain pen, little knurled section, all that stuff. Good pen. They go for, that's a pretty good price. I think 18, 19, 20 bucks Canadian, and it's a good pen. I saw this and said, that looks like a Platinum Preppy. And it essentially is. If Muji and Platinum had a fountain pen baby, this would be the one they did. And of course, in true Muji style, there's all sorts of beautiful Platinum Preppies, like cool colors. It's a very common entry pen. And Muji said, you know, hold my sake, let me show you a stylish Platinum Preppy. And they came out with this, just pushing the edge for color combinations, as you can see. If you don't get the joke, most of the stuff in Muji is pretty reserved when it comes to colors, but nonetheless, a good little pen. I think it goes for $9, maybe it's $10 Canadian. You're essentially getting a Platinum Preppy in different packaging. It's nice because you can see the feed, so it also works as a demonstrator, so you can see your ink level. Does not come with a converter, but instead it comes with a cartridge. So here you go, you're ready to go. You pick it up, you put the cartridge in. We'll do that right now. There is a big steel ball bearing, so if you're not familiar with that, that keeps the ink inside so it doesn't leak, and also agitates the ink once it's inside. It does make a little rattle sound. I'll show you that. But you could walk into a Muji store. If you're thinking about getting into fountain pens, you just pick up one of these pens, put in the cartridge, give it a push. There you go, and just watch the capillary action take place. So this is where you require a little bit of patience. If you have the converter, you can just put it into the bottle, draw up the ink, fill it up, and everything is primed. When you use a cartridge, it takes a moment, but I do appreciate the clear section, so you can just sit there and watch it impatiently. I recommend just put the pen back together. You can let it sit kind of nib down somewhere in a cup or whatever, and just come back in a little bit. You can squeeze the cartridge, but let me warn you, depending how hard you squeeze it, these can crack, and now you have a giant mess on your hands. So you could prime the pump a bit. I find the Platinum cartridges are pretty thick plastic, so you're like, oh, I gotta squeeze more, and then that's when you're just likely to cause some trouble. So I just, it's not worth it. Just let it sit. It'll do its thing. You'll see this will get nicely full of ink. You could shake it a little bit, I suppose, but you can hear that little ball bearing now. So you can hear that it shakes a little bit now. That's the ball bearing. But there you go. Just let it sit, come back, and then you can start writing. I waited about 2 minutes, and now the pen is ready to write. I kind of forgot because whenever I use a Preppy, it's usually with the converter, and I'm drawing the ink up, and all these fins fill up. But with the cartridge, it just kind of trickles in there, so the whole thing won't be full. But here we go. Let's give it a go. So this is the Muji pen. Of course, we got Muji paper. It's the Muji Platinum combo. Oh, my writing is terrible. Let me stop talking and write with it. So for whatever reason tonight, my writing is just pretty terrible, but the pen works quite well. All I did was put the cartridge in. It writes perfectly smooth. The flow is good. I mean, it's a very small tip size, so it's not going to be a mega gusher of a pen, but it writes quite nicely. They're quite light. Let's put out the scale here. Okay, we got what? Just over 13 grams. So that is a fairly light pen. I have some other light pens as well. There is, I don't know what it is about the Preppy. I'm not a #1 fanboy when it comes to them. They post everything. Like I have a large hand, it fits no problem. There's just something about it. I don't know if it is just almost too light a little bit, but my writing isn't good tonight, but I never seem to have nice writing with the Preppy. And again, that's just me. There's tons of people that use these that have fantastic writing, and also my writing isn't that good to begin with. But it works. This is a great way to get into fountain pens. You can walk into a Muji store, grab a notebook that's going to work quite well at an affordable price, pick up a pen that comes with a cartridge, you're ready to go. And if you want to get really into fountain pens now, the whole world opens up and there's just all sorts of pens that you could start picking up. But it's kind of an all-in-one shot deal. Just walk in, grab a pen, grab a book, and start enjoying. Just to give you an idea of dimensions, your overall pen length, we're looking at 137.5 millimeters. Let's put a few other pens in here so you can compare. We have a Lamy 2000 next to it, Graphon Faber-Castell Tomitio. This is a Lamy Studio. This is the Lamy 2000. And then here we have a Kaweco Perkeo. So very similar size pens. If you're familiar with these, this sort of makes sense, but also it's essentially the same size as a Preppy. Tons of information on Preppies out there. So that was a neat little find at the Muji store. I still like the other Muji pen more, but this is, they perform, they work. I know how well a Platinum Preppy works. I'll be giving this one to my daughter. She really likes them. They suit her a little bit more. But if you're looking for a new version of a Preppy and you just love your Preppies, check out the Muji store. If you're just getting in the fountain pens, or while you're in there you want to pick up one of these, yeah, it's well worth the $9 or $10, whatever it is they're charging. It sure looks pretty boring and pretty simple, but you're getting a nice writer with a cap that seals very well. You can leave these for months and they'll write. Slip cap, just pops on and off. They're real nice. It posts, all that sort of good stuff. And you got yourself a nice little notebook to go with it. So there you go. If you want to check one out, you know where to go. Check the description. If you have a Muji store close to you, obviously check out Go In Store. They got fun stuff. If you don't, there's this thing called the internet. You go to their website, you order the stuff, bingo, it shows up. Catch you next time.